Thank you.
Is anybody getting self-service?
No.
Really bad, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to get lyrics for the song I'm about to sing.
Can actually get Wi-Fi.
You need like a special password.
He's like, I don't know what anything is. Tell him Mark.
Hyatt, yeah, Hyatt
Anything
22.
capitalized?
No.
Sweet. Is it? Hyatt 22? Don't tell the bands. That's Hyatt Conference?
Yeah, no, yeah,
Then Hyatt 22, all lowercase.
yes.
Oh, log in with code. So, Hyatt 22. Logging in. Hold on. Hold on, everybody. Please wait. I'm in! I got the lyrics!
Yay!
Oh, that's what he says. Okay.
How does it feel to not know the lyrics?
Like normal. Okay.
It's just like karaoke.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, James Patrick Stuart!
Song of the bomb, song of the bomb right there.
That's right.
That's wrong.
That's right. They just played the bowl. The Duran Duran just played the bowl.
They did.
The Hollywood Bowl.
Were you there?
No, Ruth was there. Ruth went.
Ruth?
She did not give me any ticket. Anyway. But yeah, nevertheless, James Patrick, everybody.
Yes. Thank you, Rob. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Aurora. Thank you, Hyatt. I guess the first question I was gonna have was what's the password for the Wi-Fi here? He beat me to it. I'm thrilled to be here. I've been working in Hollywood on a couple of gigs right now. I've been doing General Hospital for the last 6 years. And I've been doing this Villains of Valley View for Disney, which I played Brainiac the Dad on. But before that, I was working on, I did season 7 on Supernatural. And the way that came to pass was because Sarah Campbell saw me after I had auditioned for this show. And I had these fake teeth that I used to wear on an episode of some show where I played a guy who had a lot of plastic surgery, and I had these fake teeth. And when I was going to read for Dick Roman, for whatever reason, I saw these teeth on my shelf, and I thought, I don't know, and I put them in, and they just made me smile. And what was really easy for me was I could make a very demonic look, but these teeth would just make me grin. And I remember reading the Muffin episode and the audition in the back of the limo for Sarah, and as I left, she said, "You are really creepy." And what was great was I knew Mark Shepard because I'd done a movie with his father, right? I'd done it with Morgan. I did Gettysburg with Morgan Shepard. So Mark was actually a really cool dude. I didn't even know Mark, and he picked me up at the airport at the request of his father in LA and drove me to San Diego one time. So I knew him kind of. And then when we were on set that day doing the Muffin episode in the back of that limousine, Mark looked at me and he just said, you just backed into something that you have no idea. And it's true. I mean, the love that you have for the show and this community and this fellowship, it's awe-inspiring. So it's nice to be back here today. I'll tell you a funny story before we move on to any kind of questions that you may have. A funny story is that the very first day on the set, Mark Shepard was in the back of this limousine, and they couldn't score a limousine. They wanted this limousine. They couldn't get it in the last second. They had to get this like prom special, right? This like stretch SUV that it was the only thing they could get. And we were shooting at a parking lot across from an empty lot that had a bulldozer on it. Every time they'd yell roll camera, that Caterpillar bulldozer would start up. And then they'd yell cut, and the bulldozer would shut down. And eventually the AD got wise to this guy, and he went over to the bulldozer and he said, you know, I'm sorry, we're shooting a scene over here. Is there anything I can do? And the guy says, I'm sorry, I'm really busy. And the AD said, well, how busy are you? He says, about $300 in lunch. And so they gave him $300 Canadian, and they brought him some lunch, and the guy stopped firing up his gun. But anyway, it's really, really nice to be here. I'm really grateful that you all came out. Thanks for having me. Do we have any questions that we want to go to, or I can spam indefinitely?
Hi. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you? Who are you?
My name is Addie. It's nice to meet you.
Addie?
Addie.
Oh, Addie. Okay.
And so my question is kind of a two-part question. The first question is, did you happen to keep a running tally of the amount of dick jokes that were made during your season?
I love the dick jokes. The rise of dick.
Yes.
And then I guess that answers my second question. Is that your favorite one,
Yeah.
the one that made you laugh the
The
most?
rise of dick.
Yes.
Yeah. But you know what's pathetic is that Dick Roman, I didn't get the Roman dick. I didn't get that for a long, long time. Somebody had to explain Dick Roman to me. But yeah, no, I didn't keep a tally, but yeah, the dick jokes are part of the fun. Yeah. And there are a lot of dick jokes on the set, but you can't work with Jensen without a lot of dick jokes. What was your favorite dick joke? Yeah. Rise of Dick. Very much think alike. Yeah, thanks.
I thought you were strictly into dick now.
Yeah, over here.
Hi,
Hi.
Addie stole my question.
Oh, isn't it funny? The only questions today was, what's the Wi-Fi password and what's your favorite dick joke?
Okay, well, instead, what is your favorite stupid joke?
My favorite stupid joke? Oh, my favorite stupid joke. I can't tell your hair color.
Brown.
Is it brown? Okay, so.
You're safe.
Okay, how about a little bit of drummer? A drummer walks into a library and says, I'll have a burger, fries, and a chocolate shake. And the librarian says, sorry, sir, this is a library. He goes, oh, shit, sorry. I'll have a burger. Really? That was your backup question? What's your favorite dick joke? And okay, what's your favorite stupid? Thanks for not making me work ethnic.
Can I tell you my mom's favorite?
What? Yeah, should we put it up to a vote? Everybody cool?
Sure.
What's brown and sticky?
What's brown and sticky? What?
A stick.
Could have dropped the mic and walked out. I'm going to steal that one. Yeah.
My question to you is, what was your favorite part about being the Leviathan on the show?
Oh gosh, well, I mean, I liked everything about it. Now keep in mind, when I auditioned for it, I didn't necessarily understand a lot, because there was a lot being kept secret. The bibbing was pretty great. I remember saying to my then 9-year-old son, he said, what's bibbing? And I said, because he used to run lines with me sometimes. And I said, well, I don't really know, but I just have to play that it's really bad. And then later on, we were driving back from soccer practice, and we were in line at an In-N-Out Burger, and I said, hey, guess what? I just read the script where I know what bibbing is. He goes, really? What is it? And I said, it's when they make you eat yourself. He goes, oh, I wish you hadn't told me that. Can you imagine a 9-year-old going to bed thinking about that? And then the next day he goes, how would you eat yourself? How would you eat the last tooth? And I said, I guess you'd have to get a running start.
Actually, how would you do that?
Yeah, how would you eat the last tooth? I guess if you're working furiously enough, your last tooth turns into a little blue flame. I don't know. I didn't actually witness it. What they would do, there was a lot of CGI, so they would do these little dots. I'm sure you've all seen them. They do these little dots all over your face. So the special effects department runs in with a Sharpie and puts all these dots on you, and they tell you what it's going to look like. And then you watch the show when it airs, and you're blown away by how well they did. And all the Borax stuff, that was all CGI too. But I'll never be able to look at Borax the same way. Yeah, that's true. Thanks for the question. Do we have another one here?
Hi, I have to say that you are, my sister and I, is one of our favorite characters just because of the way you would say Dick. Dick Roman.
Dick.
So what is the most cringeful time you had to say your name, Dick Roman?
Cringeful? I don't believe I don't believe I ever cringed when I had to say Dick. I'm pretty okay with myself.
Really bad jokes, and you would have thought that there would be some internal cringe going on with saying, really, I have to say that?
Yeah,
Really?
no, I work on a soap opera. I got a lot of cringes over. I've had to, when I showed up on General Hospital, they gave me a hump. So dick jokes is really nothing.
Well, that makes sense.
But if you have any, do you have any that you watch and just go, cringe?
Almost everyone, because you were just so deceitful.
Really?
In your face, when
Yeah.
you would say that, it would just be like, oh my God.
That's right. But yeah,
It's not getting the
you didn't
joke.
cringe. There wasn't a cringe at all. It was always dick. It was always dick.
It seemed like you never got the joke. Like everybody else is like, why would he be calling himself Dick?
Yeah.
And you're like, Dick.
Yeah. No. He was amused by the whole. He was amused by humanity, and he was amused by suffering. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sure. But that's right. How's it going with you?
Not too bad.
Good.
So Dick is such a fun character where he's just out there, very bold in what he's doing. What inspired your conception of this high-end businessman?
Dick is bold and out there. Well, it's been a minute. I believe there were some politicians on the canvas in those days that helped me with that. Actually, this was going back to I think Mitt Romney was running for office in those days, right? So there was something. I think that might have inspired the team. Because and I'm not even judging. I'm just saying that there was like a political kind of a game show host energy. I think that to me the idea of this Leviathan who had chosen bits and pieces of what he thought was amusing about humanity, and that it would be this, like I said, a politician or a game show host. Like he found that to be the most interesting part of humanity if he was going to plot to fatten them all up and eat them. Yeah, I zeroed in on game show hosts, I think.
It always kind of came across as the main character in American Psycho.
It's weird because even my wife says that about me sometimes. that might be a more me thing than a Dick Roman thing.
Well, he's always been my favorite big bad of the series.
That's nice.
Thanks for bringing him out.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. People used to say that I had that I used to look like Christian Bale.
You do.
Yeah. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Welsh. My people are from the north of England, so it's not that far away. Who knows? Maybe somewhere. Remember, we're 10 cousins removed. Yeah, I know. But anyway, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi. This isn't about Supernatural, but Amphibia is one of my favorite TV
Oh, cool.
shows. And for some reason, I did not picture you as Wally. So
As Wally?
I was just wondering if you could do like a line in
Sure.
his voice.
Yeah, sure. Some of you may not realize, but there was a moment after Supernatural where I was doing an awful lot of animation, and I did the Penguins of Madagascar, where I played the little English one. Maybe we could dive down and shut off the incinerators.
Oh. I didn't know that. You didn't know.
Kind of of amazing because I actually started doing that at the same time that I was doing Dick Roman. So that was. But then, you know, Disney did this show called Amphibia, and I auditioned for it, and there was this character called One-Eyed Wally. And he's a little frog, you know, he had one eye like this, right, you know. And I thought, well, why would he have one eye? Well, obviously he's drunk, right? He can't even see straight, right? And so I auditioned, and the producer was like, oh my God, that's fantastic. Yeah, hire this guy right away. So I was just, you know, like, you know, oh, just hire. But what I'm doing is I'm plagiarizing Dudley Moore from all right? The kids watching Disney don't know that.
No.
So what was funny was the first notes from Disney was, we love it. Does he have to be drunk?
Yes.
So maybe he's silly, but so I thought they kind of gave up on the reason why he only had one eye. Yeah. So that's what what he's all about. He's really Dudley Moore. Come on. There you go. That's a nice. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. That's a nice. And then sadly, the show's off the air now. But it was fun while it lasted.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Shayna.
Have we met Shayna?
We did.
Yeah.
I was a run-in photo op, so I thought I had your ticket.
We met at the run-in photo op.
Yeah, thank you for that.
They're pretty much all running photo ops. Hi, nice to meet you. Bye-bye. Hi, bye-bye. Yeah.
So, as Dick Roman, we know you don't give us flying hats and ask about Bobby.
Right.
As James Patrick Stuart.
Yeah.
Do you care?
Do I care
Do
about
you care?
Jim?
Yeah.
Do I care about Jim? He's a phenomenal human being.
Do you care that you killed off?
I love that I killed Bobby. That's why little boys get into show business, right? To kill the fan favorite.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, thank you. But really, I mean, listen, when I got into show business, the line for the good guy is a hell of a lot longer than the line for the bad guy, and both checks clear. So,
Adapt or die.
I'm going to try out for the bad guy role. So if you're going to be the bad guy role, we're going to hire you to kill the fan favorite. Oh! Sweet. Yeah. Well, that night, I remember actually being around, I can't remember if Jim was, I don't know, you guys would know better than me, if Jim was in contract negotiations, or who knows if Jim wanted to do, because they always say that, he's going to pursue other ventures, I don't know. But they wanted to, he was, I think he was, I don't remember if he was both feet into the idea of dying or not. But, you know, in soaps, that's what they do all the time. If ever somebody gets shot, you know that they're up for contract negotiations.
He didn't get eaten.
Yeah, at least he didn't get eaten, right. But Patrick, by the way, James Patrick thinks that Jim is the greatest. We email each other. So we've remained friends.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. But that's the answer to that question. If you're going to be a bad guy, you want to kill as many people.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm actually asking this question for my cousin.
What's your name? I got to ask your name.
My name is Becca.
Becca. Hi. Okay. You're not asking for you. You're asking.
I'm asking for my cousin, Shaveda.
Shaveda.
She would like to know, other than being a Leviathan, what creature would you be after that?
Oh, that's a good question. There are a lot more. You know what? I can't really give you an informed answer because there are a lot of seasons that I'm afraid I actually haven't seen. I will.
You'll catch up.
I wasn't teeth out. Binge the whole goddamn thing. Leviathan was pretty great. It's hard for me to. I like the way that he. I liked what motivated the Leviathan. I thought that the mission was interesting. I enjoyed. I can't believe that I think we only did like half a dozen, maybe more than that episodes. And I just have such fond memories. Working with Mark was really a dream. Because we've known each other for so long, and working with Bobby directing those episodes when we were making the contract. I was making the contract with Mark's character, and those were just great days. So, and then I remember when Dick turned into a Leviathan and he grabs a guy and he throws him through the ceiling, they rigged that. The stunt guy had a harness on, a cable that went through there, and everybody backed up. And I'm standing right next to the guy, and he looks over at me and he's going, he goes, "Mind my boot doesn't hit you in the face." Okay. I'm trying to act as cool as I can. I got this plastic teeth in my mouth, $800 freaking prosthetic teeth. And he says, "Mind my boot doesn't hit you in the face." No, I'm perfectly in love with the Leviathan experience, but thanks for asking. Maybe I'll change it after I watch it too. Yeah, thank you.
Hi. First of all, I think you are the best Dick ever.
You're turning me on.
With my third ex-husband.
Oh, he did Dick too, did he? He tried to kill you.
Yeah, but I'm here. Anyway, I want to know, what is your favorite scene? Not episode, but scene.
Scene in Supernatural?
Yeah.
Well, when I shot live. I mean, that was a full-on Clint Eastwood moment. The build-up was perfect. Was fun loading that gun right in front of him. When I knew I was going to shoot him, and when he's escaping, and there's that moment when the Steadicam guy is right there. It's late, the air is crisp. And you're just looking down the barrel of that gun, just going right across the camera, and you're part of you is thinking like the character, but the other part of you is 8 years old going, "God damn, this is why I got in the show." It's true. That's exactly what I'm thinking of that scene.
Hi, I'm Alex. And I was wondering, and I might be wrong about this, that Misha Collins' character, Castiel,
Yeah.
was possibly trying to be the same character that you are as Dick Roman as the head of the Leviathan. And if so, as you were developing your character, were you able to give notes on how he should act for that part? No?
No, I don't believe anybody could give Misha notes. I don't know that that's possible. But nor would he ask me. For my money, he's every bit Robert Redford. I love Misha. I'm intimidated by how brilliant that man is. I'm surprised he hasn't been arrested. Because I've watched him draw so many penises on things I can't even touch. No, he doesn't need my help, and I mean he's the best.
I asked because I think you're brilliant.
Well, you're very kind. Thank you. I remember thinking, I watched him do a scene, and I just thought I could never say lines that rapidly. I would never be able to remember my lines like that, and I just was floored by him. And I thought, this guy must be a genius. He must read the classics. And I remember sitting in first class on the way back to LA next to him, and he got his laptop out, and I thought, I can't imagine what kind of quantum physics he must be doing. And I look over, and he's watching Family Guy. My pleasure. Thanks for the question.
So I watched General Hospital since I was very young.
The show I'm currently on.
Sorry guys, it's not a supernatural question.
That's okay.
All of a sudden I'm making Supernatural.
Well, you obviously played a bad guy in Supernatural, and you somewhat play a bad guy in General Hospital.
Yeah.
But as of late, Valentine hasn't been so bad.
No.
So, what have been your favorite parts to play in differentiating between bad Valentine and good Valentine?
I like bad guys. I find them interesting. I find the idea. I mean, we all listen. Everybody think. I like the idea that people are basically think that they have good intentions, and in my real life, I like to believe that. But I'm also fascinated by people who are so wounded and so petulant and so childish that they just want people to hurt and they just want to break your toy. And I don't know what that says about me, but it's bought me a house. And I find that interesting. And what's really strange is that I find that culturally, a lot of people are attracted to that. And I don't understand why that is, but it exists. And people, I think they like a villain.
Well, it's interesting to see how he, like, with his dad, Victor, how he does it, like, kind of is underneath him and doesn't step up.
Yeah.
At least, yeah, I'm always behind, so please don't.
Yeah. No. Well, we'll keep watching General Hospital, because the next couple of weeks there's going to be a lot of questions to answer. And a lot of skin revealed.
Oh.
Yeah. The beautiful Finola Hughes, who plays Anna on the show. I get to kiss her. It's better than baseball fantasy camp, people. I'm not going to. Oh my goodness. Sorry. This is an interesting segue. You're going to tell me you're a General Hospital fan? Sorry, what? What's the question?
Were your parents supportive of you being an actor?
Are you an actor?
No.
Yes, they were. My father was in rock and roll. He was a musician. My mother was a model. And I decided to go. I was not going to do that. I was going to go into acting. And I fell in love with it. And it was an affliction. And I knew when I was probably a little younger than you that I was going to be doing this. What do you like to do?
Play video games.
Are your parents supportive of you playing video games?
He's looking at Mom.
Yeah, that's a tough one, Mom. That's a tough one. Yeah, my mother wanted me to go to school, and she wanted me to go to college. But I also went to college and I studied acting, and so it became very clear. I knew I was always going to be doing this. That's a very informed question. Was that really your question?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm impressed. That's a deep question.
He's asked some really cool questions
Have you
today.
been asking great questions already?
Yeah. And yesterday,
What was
yeah.
your name again?
Kellen?
Kellen? Is that an Irish name?
I don't think so.
Kellen? It sounds
It does.
It is, right? Yeah. Well, now you learned something. Yeah, thank you for that question. That's very thoughtful. I appreciate that. Yes, they were very supportive. And I would recommend, I think, when you go and you become a parent, I think when you find, or even in your friendships and your relationships with your friends, when you see somebody who really wants to do something, love and support is really all it's about, you know. And I remember when my own little son said that he thought he wanted to go into acting, and I remember thinking, no. And he doesn't today, but I took him to acting lessons because it dawned on me that maybe he'll love it. Maybe he won't make a living at it, but maybe he'll love it. And how could I talk him out of doing something that he loves? So if there's something you love, I would say that along with doing video games, getting out and running and jumping is important too. But who knows? What do I know? Thanks for the question. Did you have a follow-up? No. It wasn't, anything, no politics or anything? It's a deep thinker right there.
It's Misha Jr.
Must be the Irish.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie.
Hi. Mackenzie?
Yeah.
Hi.
I was wondering if you had a practical stunt that you had done or been involved in, and what it consisted of.
Any practical stunts that I've been involved in and what they consist of. What's interesting is when I was young, I used to love to do a lot of great stunts. And now I'm older than 50. I'm pretty much in the Roger Moore phase of my career. Just get a stunt guy to do it, and then I'll come in for the close-up after a couple of cocktails, and you can throw some sawdust at me and call it a day. But yeah, I did a movie called The Man Who Came Back with Eric Brayton, and I did all the fights in that. And I ended up with a broken rib, and Eric Brayton actually squeezed me so hard that I blacked out. He's a tough guy, and he kickboxes, and I just ended up stone cold on the floor. James. I haven't done any airbag stunts or anything like that. Why, are you a stunt person? It's an interesting question if you're not a stunt person. What do you have any gags that you're fans of throughout the show? Not really? Where'd you come up with this question?
I like hearing the stories of Jared and Jensen and like the weird practical things that they had to do.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, no, they do way more stunts than I did. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I got, when I was a kid, I'll tell you what, when I was 8 years old, my dad had a beach house in Malibu, you know, on those telephone pole stilts. And that balcony we have is 25 feet off the ground. And I figured, I fancied myself a bit of a daredevil. And I was walking on the handrail, and I woke up in Santa Monica Hospital, and I lost the entire summer in traction. So maybe that's part of my reticence. But Dick Syker, who was one of the heads of Stunts Unlimited, came by as a gift to my father, and he gave me an autographed picture of him on fire jumping out of the building. And he was actually, he did the station wagon jump in Vacation. He did in Westworld, the original Westworld, Yul Brynner burns for like the last 2 minutes. He was that guy in the fire suit. And so it was pretty cool. But yeah, I let the stunt guys do the stunts at this point. But thanks for that question, appreciate that. I'm really digging these questions. Oftentimes, you know what it is, it's usually like, how are you and your character different? And it's like, well, Valentine's full of shape. Oh, you're back!
Is it okay if I ask you a joke? Tell you a joke? It's a dick joke.
Is it okay that you're having a dick joke? All right.
All right. How do you get Dick from Richard?
How do you get Dick from Richard? How?
You ask him nicely.
You're 2 for 2. That's back. 2 for 2. Thank you very much.
And piggybackers, if 2 potatoes are standing on a corner, how can you tell which one is the prostitute?
If 2 potatoes are standing on a corner, how do you tell if one's a prostitute? How?
It's the one that says, Idaho.
I'm going to go back to Los Angeles and say, how's the supernatural convention? We told dick jokes. There's just a room full of people. Any other?
Colorado.
I'm Kurt, this is my first meeting, and I'm addicted to supernatural.
Welcome, Kurt.
So you done voices for Scooby-Doo, and you're on Supernatural, which is better. And part 2, why didn't they invite you to do voicing for Scooby-Natural?
I can't answer that second part. Which is better is ridiculous. I love to do, Supernatural was great, the whole experience was great, the people were great. I love flying back and forth to Vancouver. There's a lot of oxygen and water out there, that's nice. You know, and they fed you real good. It was a nice experience. But I got to do a bunch of voices on Scooby-Doo. Frank Welker, who has played both Scooby and Fred for what, 50, 60 years or something? You know, he's there doing Scooby-Doo. And Matt Lillard was doing Shaggy. And Matt comes in and he's got a cold. Well, you can't come in with a cold in a room full of people who do 2 or 3 sessions of voiceovers a day. You're going to destroy the world economy. So I remember the director was like, Matt, get the hell out of here. And they look at me and they go, James, can you do Shaggy? I'm like, give it a shot. So they go, move over next to Frank. So I sit next to Frank. Hi, how do you doing, Frank? How you doing? I was playing like some Australian wasp or something. And the next thing I'm like, light zoinks, Scoop! Light zoinks! Zoinks! Come on, that was a real pinch me moment, right? I mean, that was, getting a chance to do that with Fred, because he's in the Guinness Book of World Records. He's got more credits than anybody else in Hollywood from doing that show for so long. But thanks for asking. Yeah, I appreciate that. Welcome. Keep coming back. Hi. What's your name?
Adrian.
Adrian, nice to meet you.
I have a 2-parter.
Okay.
So, the first question I have is, what line or what scene of your acting career was like your most favorite? It just has to be supernatural for me.
That's nice to you. That first part is what's my favorite line. It doesn't have to be supernatural. I had a lot of fun with the big jokes on Supernatural, but I don't believe I ever got a laugh like I got on a show called Frasier, where I played a gay French ski instructor that had the hottest for miles, David Hyde Pierce. And David Hyde doesn't realize that my character is gay. He doesn't realize that I'm into him. And there's a moment where he's talking about some women, and then he looks over at me and he says, let's just say my interests lie elsewhere. And there's sort of this moment where my ski instructor is just looking at him up and down like this, and I just wait for it, and the audience titters and wait for it, and I go, really? And that was one of those moments where the audience is on board with that. There's another time also where I got to check him out, do his ass out, which was a big laugh too. So Frasier, those guys had so many Emmys. Those were the top dogs. What was funny was you'd go out to dinner with the Frasier writers, and they'd get the best table at the best restaurant, and they'd be sitting there and they're like, oh no, and then the Simpsons writers would come in. Those guys rule Hollywood. Yeah. What's the second part of the question?
My second question is, being serious, have you or have you not taken anything from the Supernatural set?
Oh, did I take anything from the Supernatural set? I don't remember that. No, I don't think I did. I don't remember. No, I wouldn't. If I had, it wouldn't have been anything that would have gotten me in trouble because I would have wanted to be invited back. But that's a good question. I do remember one time. I remember one time Bobby Singer was directing an episode, and I saw a chance to save the entire setup. The setup is when we set the camera up here, we do a couple of takes. Bobby likes what he's gotten. Now we're going to do a new setup. That's when we all run off and go get some food and sit in our dressing room and look, check our phones and stuff like that. Okay, now we're doing this setup. Well, that takes a lot of time. And I remember there's a scene where Mark Shepard and I are negotiating. And I said, why don't you just have Mark sitting behind me, or Mark reading the contract and I'm sitting behind him. You can get 2 setups in one. And Bobby looks at me like this, and the rest of his crew's like, and he goes, it's good. Don't get too full of yourself. But he did it, and it saved us about half an hour, but I don't think he liked me thinking I could help him direct it.
The last thing I gotta say is a dick joke.
A dick joke!
No, you're one of my favorite dicks.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Uh-oh, what do we got over here? Is that, hi. Oh, this is adorable. Uh-oh. Is that laughter? Is that giggling? Can't tell.
We don't know.
Are you all right?
She touched me, sure.
Oh, she touched Misha. And she hasn't spoken since. That's amazing. Yeah. We're all in the same family. All right.
Have you ever accidentally told someone who wrote your stage sign?
I thought you were going to ask me, have I ever touched Misha? Have I ever punched? Yes, I have accidentally punched somebody in a stage fight, and it was on General Hospital. And the stunt guy, I was supposed to pull my punch, and I nicked that poor guy in the nose. But stunt guys are pretty tough. Yeah, stunt guys are pretty tough. If it had been me, I had been out of action for a couple of weeks. But yes, I have. That's the only one I remember. Any dick jokes? No? Well, congratulations on touching Misha. Yeah, I never touched him. He's touched me a few times. What? Mine's, what? Mine
I don't
okay?
have a dick joke, but mine's just bigger.
Mine's just bigger. Okay. Okay, congratulations for that. Enjoy your enormous.
Good stuff.
All right, good to see you again.
My question's not penis.
No, not penis related.
Shoo.
I'm wondering, as an actor, you played several characters, if you've ever personally incorporated them, and you ever had to ask yourself, what would Dick Roman do in this situation?
I don't remember. What do you mean by incorporated them?
I mean, I don't know, if you maybe take pieces of characters and...
Have I borrowed other characters?
personality.
Sure. I think a lot of characters snowball on other characters. And yes, I would say that if you were to watch Villains, where I played a villain, Villains of Valley View, or General Hospital, where I played Bounty, these are probably guys that have borrowed from my time playing Dick Roman. Yeah. What Dick had for me anyway was an invulnerability, and if nothing can get him, then you might as well have a good time. And that, to me, that was almost like a vampire, and that's a Dick thing to carry through.
And in your personal life, have you ever...
Have I ever? Yes, no, I very rarely go through my personal life. What would Dick do? I may have wanted to bid my children a few times, but I never went there. But as an actor, I do know what it's like to not be able to leave your work at work and then go home and be an asshole to your family. Especially when you're playing a villain, and you try not to do that. You try to do what's called step out. Not always. I remember one time coming home and, my wife Jocelyn was saying, you're being a dick, cut it out. Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, the fans get younger and younger. Look at this. Hello.
I also have a dick joke, but...
Okay. Right next to the kid. Right? She's got her little headphones on. She doesn't know. It's like, what's my word?
No, she wants to know her birthday's tomorrow. She's turning 5.
Happy birthday. She's turning 5? Happy birthday.
Okay, but my joke. It's kind of like it's short but long.
Which is better, long dick joke or a short dick joke?
Okay, so a man walks into a bar, and on the bar top, he sees a little man, that's like a foot long, and he's playing the piano. And he asks the bartender, where did you get this little guy? And the bartender was like, oh, I have this magic lamp. And he said, can you actually wash it for me while I go to the bathroom? And he was like, sure, no problem. The bartender said, if you're going to make a wish, make sure you enunciate, because the lamp is like tricky. Anyway, the bartender goes to the bathroom, he comes back out, and there's a million ducks all over the bar. And he goes up to the guy, he's like, what did you wish for? He's like, I asked for $1 million. And the bartender says, I told you to enunciate. Do you think I asked for a 12-inch pianist?
Are we done? We have one last one. Do one last question. Shavea? Very nice to meet you.
My question is, who did you like working with more, Jared or Jensen, and why?
It's a great question to hit on.
I almost got out of here. You know what? I don't have a favorite. I don't have a favorite.
Jim.
Thank you very much, everybody. James Patrick Stuart!
so much. All right, feel like you know who's going to be next. I was right, I'm right about that. Sure, no.
Unfortunately, he's had to cancel.